Hey everybody, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to take a look at an expansion for a game that I reviewed not too long ago. That is a tile-laying game called Voluspa, and today we're going to take a look at Voluspa, Order of the Gods. Now this is an expansion for the base game, so you have to have the base game to play it, and it is the second expansion. The first was included inside of the box. Stronghold released this not too long ago. It's currently available, and it's going to add a whole host of new tiles that you can use with the base game or the first expansion, as well as some additional scorekeeping tiles and some kind of maintenance tiles that are going to be useful for keeping track of certain things within the base game. So real quick, we'll take a look at what you're going to get inside of this box. We'll see how the game plays, and then we'll come back here at the end and get my opinions on Voluspa, Order of the Gods. So here you can see what's included with Voluspa, Order of the Gods. What we're looking at is most of the components. There's a few that aren't actually here right now because I have them mixed in with my base game, but I'll tell you about them shortly. But you're looking at a bunch of different value tokens, most of which will be utilized with the Freya tiles here. But there's also a bunch of zero tokens here. These zeros are included to help you show with the base game which tiles are zeroed out by the placement of a Loki on the board, which was something you had to keep track of mentally before, but now you can do utilizing these, which is much more convenient. So huge props to Stronghold for putting those into the expansion because that's awesome. Now, you also have 4 new tiles that are going to be used or can be used with both expansions or just the base game or however you want to mix them up, and it also gives suggestions in the rulebook as to different sets you can use them in. So when you have this rulebook, you can go ahead and choose what set you want to use or make your own up if you would like. The components that I am not showing right now are these little markers that are just plus 150 and plus 200 victory point markers that you can use to keep track if you go over the limits that you were usually kind of restrained to before. These will allow you to keep track if you go really high in victory points, and if you do, good for you. Now, the new tiles, what do they do? I'm actually not going to cover the gameplay of Voluspa. If you want to check that out, I'm going to try and put a link in this video. I can't guarantee that I can because I don't have control over the annotation of the videos, but at the very least I can put a text marker up saying what my video's link is, or you can just search Google for Ryan Metzler Voluspa review. That'd probably be the easiest way. Now, we have 4 new tiles. We have the Raven, we have Freya, we have the Dwarf, and we have Neo-Hugger. I believe that's right, but again, I don't know. The Raven here, when you use one of these, he's got a value of 4, as you can see right on them, and it says that you can place him, if we can get it to focus. Come on, focus. Oh, no focus. There he is. All right, if you can get him to focus, he is a 4, and you get to place him twice. So when you put this guy out there, you're going to place him once, then you are going to score, and you're going to take him, pick him up, and place him again. In addition, he can be placed over the top of things, much like the dragon in the original game. So you can take him and put him on top of something, covering it up, negating its value, score that line, and then move him and score him again. Freya has 2 options. You can either play her as a value 3 herself. Once we focus in on it, there we are. You can play her as a value 3 herself, or you can discard her and increase the value of something else that you're placing. And that's what these tokens are for here. So she's either a 3 by herself, or you can discard as many of them as you want from your hand in order to increase the value of another tile you're placing. And when you do so, you'll just put the appropriate marker over the top of it to show that you've increased its value. The Dwarf here is going to score just on his placement. No matter what, he's going to score when you place him. He is a value 2 on his own, kind of useless for scoring lines, but when you place him out, you're going to add up the values of everything adjacent to him. Now that's above, below, to the left and right, not diagonal. But when you put him out, you're going to add all those values up, divide it by 2, and you're going to score that many points. So you can just place him in an area around a lot of high value tiles and get a bunch of points that way. Now Neo-Hugger is this lizardy looking dude here. He's a value 7. You place him out, and he doesn't have a special ability on his own. However, when you score a line that he's in, you're going to get plus 2 points for every one of these that's in that line. So you want to score lines that he's already been placed in. However, he's a value 7, so getting over that isn't going to be too easy if you can find a way, either by discarding Freya tiles and making something larger, or, of course, using a 7 that's already there, or maybe Fenrir from the base game in order to have a high value. You can score that line and get a bunch of extra points when you do so. So those are the tiles that are included in the new game. I find that mixing them up with various tiles from other expansions gives you a nice variety and keep a fresh look on the game. And there you have it. That is Voluspa, Order of the Gods. Pretty decent, although a little bit small expansion, but you don't want too many available tiles in these types of games. Actually, in this expansion, it suggests that you only use a subset of the tiles and gives you several different options of how to mix them together. I think that the Raven tile, the one that lets you score twice by placing it twice, although it's a low value, is really an interesting play on the game. Some of the tiles, like the kind of dragony serpent type thing, I forget the name at the moment, or actually can't even say the name properly, probably so, but he's going to give you extra points for each time that you are able to score a line that has him in it. So placing those properly and then having the tiles to follow up and score those lines can earn you a bunch of extra victory points in the game. All in all, I'd say that the expansion offers a nice amount of variety, and I think that's usually what I'm looking for in a game where you have tiles with different abilities, is more variety. I think they've done this properly, not added new rules, but simply given you more options as to how to play, and I think that's a great way to do an expansion. So overall, if you're just looking for more variety to include in your tile laying game Voluspa, I think that this expansion is going to be an excellent purchase for you and definitely suggest checking it out.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.